Dylan Avery from Loose Change. This fake hero. Nothing but a shill on the payroll. Just like these two. They get these young kids. You know, it's like Scooby-Doo. Where they bust the rich and the powerful that rule the world. No difference. It's cartoon. We live in a cartoon world. And these three, with Loose Change, we're all part of it. Taking a look here at this shirt. The skull, of course, referring to Skull and Bones. Now let's take a look at this clip from CNN from a few years back. With Dylan Avery and the Loose Change crew being spotlighted. Again, the elite, they like to control both sides. You know, the opposition's controlled completely. And anytime you see these so-called truth speakers on TV, you should be wise enough to know, again, it's all theater, they're part of the game. Take a look.
These are some of the events called into question by a film made for $2,000 by three friends using a laptop computer.
That's what they'll have you believe. $2,000 on a laptop computer, and when in reality, they had a whole production crew behind them. Of course, you should know, again, if they're on CNN, they're part of the theater. No different than anybody else that you see on CNN. They wouldn't be on CNN if they weren't one of them. Now with this segment here, they're basically giving Dylan Avery and Loose Change, you know, free advertisement, pushing the masses in this direction to mislead them with these disinfo agents.
It's called Loose Change. When it hit the web last year, it spread like wildfire, downloaded some 10 million times, translated into 13 languages. The 80-minute documentary presents its own evidence and asks viewers to look closely and ask questions. Like, could the Trade Center have been brought down by bombs?
Nothing makes me more sick than these fake truth speakers, Dylan Avery and Abby Martin of RT. Just take a look at that Masonic handshake. Give me a break. These people are fools only fooling fools. If you can't see through these people, you're lost. Understand? Not only is the mainstream media controlled, the alternative media is controlled as well. There are no heroes on TV. Every so-called truth speaker, I don't care who it is, and what sweet words they say on Alex Jones' show, InfoWars, or RT, they're all part of the controlled opposition. And this clown is no exception. Take a listen to this interview and what this clown says about Sandy Hook and about 9/11. Completely expose himself. It's a complete fraud, a complete shill of the elite.
Good to see you, man. So before we get into your latest work, you made the film Loose Change. It's probably the most viral online documentary ever made. I mean, how did that insane experience change you as a person and a filmmaker?
Drastically and unexpectedly. You know, it's funny that I'm here in D.C. 10 years after I was living here finalizing Loose Change, and I really had no way of anticipating how big it was going to be, how drastically it was going to change my life.
First off, Loose Change wouldn't have been big as it became unless he had someone backing it up and pushing it. You know, people just don't come out of nowhere and get this exposure. You know, again, I've mentioned this before. They get these young guys. It's almost like Scooby-Doo, where the young kids are busting the criminals, the rich and the powerful. It's all theater. And this clown, again, I call him a clown. That's all he is a clown. This guy makes me sick. He's a puke.
Many people would reach out to me and just how much was going to happen so insanely. It would insanely change my life.
You know, really briefly, what do you think about kind of the movement being hijacked by kind of this everything's a conspiracy and everything's a false flag?
That's what it is, you dumb. I'm not going to say it, but I almost did. Just keep on listening. Now they get into Sandy Hook and no planes on 9/11. Now this is where they completely start shilling for their masters. These pieces of trash, pieces of garbage, sellouts.
No.
You know, that's one of the reasons I had to walk away. In about 2006 is when it started. You know, you had the whole no planes at the World Trade Center nonsense and all that. So really,
yeah, nonsense. Only nonsense is you, punk.
It really kind of came to a head 2006, 2007, and it was over the following couple of years where I realized you say that you're for 9/11 truth, and you could mean that you're for a new investigation into the attacks, but then they'll think, whoever you're talking to, like, oh, you think that no planes at the World
Sandy
Trade
Hook didn't happen, right?
Yeah,
What
Sandy Hook didn't happen, and I mean...
Yeah, Sandy Hook didn't happen. Thank you very much for exposing yourself. I don't even need to do it. No one needs to do it. You just did it to yourself. Completely exposed. Not like that it's anything new for some people. The ones that are, still watching Loose Change and think this guy is some kind of hero. Guy's furthest thing from a hero. Lying piece of trash.
Like, everything's a false flag, everything is a government cover-up. I mean, 24 hours in before we even have any information, it's automatically being declared as one thing or another. So, it's a dangerous situation we find ourselves in.
It is, Dylan. I think
dangerous.
we're on the same page
You're dangerous.
in a lot of ways. And I think what people were most upset about, including me, is that this political, amazing filmmaker, took such a long break from making political commentary, but you're back.
Making films takes money, takes backers. Again, people behind the scenes pushing him. Just like Loose Change. And all these movies he's behind. The financial backers. Pushing these so-called conspiracies. Like Loose Change with 9/11. Don't these people know that their lives will be on the line? Pushing it out. Basically in the mainstream. Abby Martin, hello? Let's go to the end here. Just basically more garbage. You get the gist of it. Let's take a look here at the very end. As these two sellouts say goodbye.
Well, thank you so much for doing it, putting attention to such a serious issue, Dylan. I cannot wait to see the film. Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
And there you go. Again. The Masonic Handshake. And of course RT, they're going to have Mark Dice on there. What other evidence do you need to understand that RT is nothing more than a mainstream Alex Jones type InfoWars with this clown on RT? And of course, the king of the shills, he's going to be on RT as well. And the same thing with Jesse Ventura. Again, made the point. Anybody that shows up not only on CNN, Fox News, RT, Al Jazeera, all controlled by the Zionists. So again, if you're looking for a hero on TV, you look at the wrong place.